Thank you so much for being here. And let me know in the chat, Jeff, the one thing that keeps you going, and that was community improvement. My name is Aretha Simons. I'm the webinar producer here at TechSoup. Today, we're going to be talking about PDFs and so much more with our partner at Foxit. I'm going to show you how you can engage. Actually, I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to tell you because I'm just going to tell you. Many of you've already been here. You know that you are on mute. You're going to get the recording, and there may be some slides or some links to share with you after this. I'll send it to you later today. If you need the closed caption, there's one new thing that Zoom has started. You can now click on and choose your language, if whether it's Espanol, Francais, French, whatever. So I think it's a cool thing that they've started. And there's going to be a survey that's going to pop up when you close your window. Just 2 questions. If you take the time to fill that out, I'll be greatly appreciated. I'm going to move out of the way and turn this over to our guest, Kai, who's going to take us further. Thank you so much for being here, Kai.
Oh, thank you so much, Aretha. Yeah, so my name is Kai Wille. I am with Foxit Software, looking after Foxit's a nonprofit program here, and we're really excited to be here, and of course, very excited to have you here. The high level for Foxit is very simple. We are the alternative to Adobe Acrobat as well as to DocuSign, and we're excited to work with TechSoup to make that kind of technology affordable for nonprofits, and of course to help you improve your business productivity, but also make those contracts more secure and so on. But the purpose of today's call is not for me to drone on about how wonderful Foxit is, but rather to talk to one of your cohorts. Dan is on this call, and Dan, why don't you introduce yourself? We want to talk a little bit about what Dan's been doing with Foxit in his nonprofit, and how has it been helping him, and things like that, to kind of give you some real world feedback on what are people actually doing with this versus a bunch of marketing speak. So, but Dan, why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself and your nonprofit, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, thanks, Kai. And hi, everyone. My name is Dan Nemes. I am the development lead with the Bicycle Alliance of Minnesota. And we've got bicycle in our name, but our mission is to make walking, rolling, and bicycling safe and accessible to everyone who lives in Minnesota. So we're based in the Twin Cities. And but we work throughout Minnesota. I actually live and do a lot of work here in Rochester, where I live. And if you've heard of Rochester, Minnesota, it's because Mayo Clinic is right down the street. So that's kind of our claim to fame. And we are using Foxit mostly after I spent, I'd say 6 months kind of bouncing back and forth. From free versions of Adobe, or the Adobe that comes packaged with your browser, um, and like things like DocuSign, or I'd used a few other kind of online signing tools, but always kind of using the free version. So our nonprofit is relatively small. We've got 9 or 10 full-time staff. With a few AmeriCorps folks who cycle in every couple of years, and a pretty modest budget. I'll say don't mind sharing that our budget's right around just north of $1 million a year. So again, pretty modest for the the work that I'm proud that we do. And so, like I said, we'd been bouncing around. And I've mainly been using Adobe for things like merging PDFs, editing PDFs, and that I found that to be a really kind of cumbersome operation. I'm using a Chromebook because that's what our organization's been using, and so a lot of these things were done online or in the cloud, and Adobe crashed a lot on me, and when it came to the signing side, we have a lot of contracts that we make with the state of Minnesota as well as other units of government, and it's often required that we have those signature certificates. So, we'd been using these free versions, but I'd often get to the end of the month and I'd run out of free signatures. So um, that all is to say, it motivated me to kind of look into Foxit and check on TechSoup, and Foxit came up, and um, I kind of poked around and I said, I think this will work, and so we pulled the trigger, and we've been using it since the beginning of the summer, thereabouts, and it's worked out pretty good so far. So um, that's our story in a nutshell.
Well, that's awesome. Were there any security concerns that you were worried about that, as part of this conversation?
Yeah, and most, so I guess on like the human error side, on my end, I had all these different accounts that I'd opened, um, and so I didn't feel good about having two different online signer accounts. And then sometimes if Adobe was bugging me, I'd use like just a free online merging tool, and that I didn't like the idea of putting all of our, it had proprietary information in contracts or things like that, or um, all of our payment information and things. So I didn't love that being out on the cloud, and with organizations that I didn't have any like recourse to get those things back, or to know what would happen. So um, on my end of things, like password management and just a lot of different, not always remembering what was going on, but also just not knowing what these platforms may or may not do with our documents.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And so, I mean, so you went to TechSoup, you found us there, but why choose us, right? I mean, it's not like there aren't other PDF tools out there. What specifically made you interested in or made you select Foxit as an alternative here?
And like I said, we have a modest budget, and so our the price point is affordable for us, and something um, we have one license right now that I use, and we find that useful, and we subscribe to TechSoup and are part of that, and so it made sense when I talked with our guy who does the software stuff. He's got 4 different roles like that. That's how it goes at a nonprofit. Um, but he's also in charge of helping everyone get what we need, and we talked and decided that this was what was going to work for us as far as price point goes and functionality. So, and like I said, I kind of looked at it and decided that this will work.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Did you appreciate that the user interface gives you both digital signature and PDF editing all in one place, looking like Microsoft Office?
Yes, yeah, and that has been, you don't ever really know like what's going to be useful until you use these things, time after time. And I have really found that to be the case, where um, getting everything merged. So I'm merging, purchase orders for a bunch of bicycles with receipts for lunch and stuff like that, and then sending them off in invoices. So documents that get to, well, approaching 100 pages of stuff, and it's just really nice to be able to have that there and then move them over to the signature page to send off to our executive director for his signature before sending the invoice out the door or signing grant agreements. It's it's been really handy to have it all on one platform, and it's easy to navigate. And I think like any tool, there's a learning curve, but I think it's set up nice, like intuitively.
Okay. And you mentioned you use a Chromebook, but do you feel the long-term Chromebook is going to be your environment or your device, or is the fact that you have flexibility between Mac, Windows, browser-based something that also helps here?
Yeah, I can kind of foresee uh, moving to a different machine, probably a Windows machine in the future. But I, for the time being, have really appreciated that I can work on the Chromebook, um, and the fact that I can get at stuff in different locations. Like I work remotely from our main office, um, so you know, when I'm up in the cities or if I'm using, I have used the app on my phone too to kind of check in on some signatures and to send stuff off for signature. So I've used the signature app on my phone. I will have to say I've not done so much of the PDF managing on my phone.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So you mentioned you're using it to assemble documents, to get documents signed, but do you feel like this improved your productivity overall? If so, is there a way to quantify that? Like, how much did it help you? It's, I
yeah,
guess, what I'm after.
yeah. So I'm thinking, of again. I know some of this stuff, and it's really anodyne. Sometimes you're like, but this is kind of this is how we get to helping people. This is integral to our mission. So, um, just kind of getting a receipt. I get a receipt from one of our educators, and I have to go through it and highlight what is going where to which grant. So I really like Foxit's highlighting tool. Before I had to open that in one thing, highlight it, and it didn't always save. I'm finding the highlighting tool really useful. Then I had to kind of stamp it and say, so when we're receiving and put the amount from the receipt that's being paid out to the grant, and then what we're taking, and so like the text editing is, I really actually like the text tool in Foxit. It's so I've used like the Chromebook comes loaded with a pretty kind of lightweight PDF tool, and Adobe, of course. But Foxit, I've had a really good success at actually editing documents in Foxit. So if I scan a document or send it over to Foxit, um, the text editing tool is really nice. So however it's um, recognizing and rendering the text so that you can edit it is really helpful. So I'm saving when I'm putting invoices together, I'm saving like 25% of time because I can do everything right there. I'm not bouncing between different applications. Um, and yeah, so the highlighting and the text tools have been what I've found the most time saving. Um, and again, I'm not sending it over, downloading it, then re-uploading it, to a different tool to get
Okay,
it signed. Yeah.
awesome. All right. So pretty good experience here with Foxit so far. Anything else you'd like to add, or any other comments on your overall experience with TechSoup as you purchased the software?
Um, it was really easy to, you know, uh, we've purchased lots of things from TechSoup, so it's pretty seamless. Um, so yeah, it's helpful.
Okay, awesome. I see Jeffrey is queuing up
Yeah.
exactly what we were going to
y-
do next, which is we've got
Sorry.
Ian here to do a live demo. But Dan, I really appreciate you spending a little time to talk about what you've experienced with Foxit so far. And but yes, up next we'll turn the floor over to Ian from our solutions team to do a live review on just exactly what is this product out about, how do you manage those licenses and get into the PDF and e-sign functionality. Ian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kai. All right. Hello, everyone. Ian Vincent here. I will start on the editor, just giving an overview. Then if anybody would like to see things like our admin console, license management portal, things like e-sign, like Dan talked about, we can dive into that a little bit as well.
You're coming across really quiet, Ian, for me. I don't know if it's just me. just in case you can adjust your mic or something like that.
Any better? Yeah, it's really, fortunately, not
A
much
little
I can
better,
do
yeah.
here. Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, starting for those that haven't seen Foxit before, welcome to the Foxit PDF Editor. We do use, as Dan and Kai highlighted, we are a Windows Gold partner. So we're able to use their Office ribbon interface. So it should be a very familiar UI and user experience. Again, as we're using the Office ribbon, is the exact same as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, you name it. So user adoption, training, just jumping in and feeling acclimated with the software, again, should feel very at home with it. And we aren't looking at using a mimic or a look-alike. We can right-click and customize the ribbon because we are using the exact Office ribbon toolbar. Any kind of keyboard shortcuts you would like to customize. Anything up at the very top left on the purple menu as the quick access toolbar can be as well. So fully customizable. You can add or remove anything to the home tab here that you would like to, maybe tools we use on a daily basis. But again, I'll give a brief overview. We'll start here just to the left of home, and I just wanted to show the amount of things under the file menu. A lot of different ways to open, and just like Office, we have the add a place function that has all the document management systems you could be looking for. But simple things like viewing document properties, using the Foxit printer, optimizing PDFs and reducing their size, or using an action wizard can all be found here on the file menu, as well as a lot of different preferences and options you can customize. So if you're coming over from one tool, but you maybe just, for instance, like to always open up a file in a new window or in a new instance of Foxit and have it managed that way. So again, a lot of different things you can customize based on the user experience that you would like to have. Again, a lot of options here on the Convert tab. Again, I'll highlight some of the the value adds and the differentiators that we do offer, opposed from something like Adobe Acrobat. So all the conversion tools, you could require, as well as all the different workflows. If you would like to open up the File Explorer, maybe highlight a group of different files, as Dan mentioned, maybe we would actually just wanted to come in here, merge all of these together, print them, combine them, or use the printer to combine them. And then from there, we can actually send out all those documents for e-signature and continue our workflow. So all the conversion tools, as you would like to have here, as well as things like OCR that can optimize or use optical character recognition to add searchable or editable text to things like scanned images, or maybe again, images we've taken with our phone to be able to have that editable document. But all the edit tools, and again, Dan, thank you for highlighting our editing text. And that's all it takes. We're going to see the light gray box around all the editable areas. Now I can change any of the text here, and just like Office, it's going to open up the format window for me on the right, so I can edit that text a bit better. But again, editing photos can be done in here in Foxit using our object and photo editor, adding text, images, and shapes. But one of the differentiators we do have is a tool here called Auto Create Bookmarks. Of course, you can manually create your own bookmarks, create them on the left here and manage them. But again, adding this value here, just to simply select a text and a font. So I've highlighted the top title here and selected that as one of the criteria to choose. So all I have to do is click OK. It's going to scan through the document and auto create those bookmarks.
And hi, this is
Yes.
Aretha. We're still getting several people saying it's still difficult to hear you. So if you can turn your volume up some more, that'd be great.
Unfortunately, there really is no volume control on my side. I just have a headset, so.
Okay.
Okay, I've stopped sharing just to see if there's anything I can find here. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything. I can try and speak a little bit louder, but unfortunately, that's all the only options I can see here today. Okay, well, hopping in, again, being able to auto-create bookmarks. Also things like cross-referencing, attaching files, and 3D implementation here. Under the Organize tab, and on the left, I'm going to open up the thumbnail view, where if we would like to organize our documents in this matter, we can right-click and interact with any of these documents. One view I really do like, we can actually open up this thumbnail view. So maybe if I wanted to grab this map and drag it to the end of the document, that's all we have to do. We can right click and again, be able to reverse, extract, or delete pages from here as well. So being able to see the document from a top-down view to be able to organize it, of course, helps. But if we would like to, of course, we can use the top toolbar to insert a new page, delete one we have selected, or extract one. I can also split a variety of different ways. We can split a document maybe just via page number for file size, or maybe based on some bookmarks that we just auto-created. And then a tool here, again, another differentiator. This is a tool that we offer within our editor that requires a plugin with Acrobat. And that's called interleaving, a way to merge two documents together and interleave. Kind of think like you're shuffling a deck of cards. It's going to combine the first page of one document and the first page of another, and then go on to the second pages of those two files. Things like watermark, background, header and footer, and Bates numbering can be found here on the Organize tab. And a tool like Bates numbering can only be found in Acrobat Pro. We don't have a standard or a pro version of Foxit. Every user is going to get all of the tools that we have in our software. Again, just to help cover that gap and make sure no one's missing anything that they need in their day-to-day work. But next, comments. Here's on the left, I'll be able to open up the Comments tab. I'll be able to highlight text, attach files, and add notes here that we can just add a comment to. There we go. And we'll add our comment here on the left. Drawing different shapes, pencil and eraser tool if you're really good with your mouse, or you have a touch tablet with a stylus, go ahead and write your comment on there. Different measuring tools, distance, perimeter, and different types of area. But a big one here as well is the accounting calculator. Another one that requires an Adobe Acrobat plugin and additional subscription, but every user is going to get the power here to do a quick calculation. Of course, they'll be able to customize the line items for all of these, and then that's it. We'll create our tape. You can even move it around if you would like to, put it right next to what you're trying to show your work on, and again, just have that quick calculation ready to go on the document as a comment. And things like stamps. Of course, we have pre-built stamps in here, dynamic or just simple static images that we can apply. And if we currently are using stamps, we can also easily migrate all of your existing stamps into Foxit, so you don't have to recreate them. They'll just be ready to go. Different symbols, letters, and numbers can be added to a document. And then from there, we can summarize and export all of those comments. But moving on to the View tab, pretty self-explanatory. A lot of different ways to view our document. But a very popular and powerful tool we have here is the Compare PDFs. Simply choose your old and your new, or your A and B file, and then choose exactly how you would like to compare that. Just text, or do we just want to compare table information? And how do we want to create our comparison results page? And also with Foxit, we'll be able to create PDF forms. So kind of different from eSign, where we're sending a document for signature. We'll be able to create these PDF forms that we'll be able to host, send via email, so someone can just fill out and send back to us. But we'll have all the tools here to auto create those forms. If we need to add signature boxes, even barcodes, different kinds of form fields or text fields, we'll be able to customize that form as well. On the Protect tab, again, another differentiator. We're the only ones on the market here that have a Smart Redact tool. It is an AI-based redaction that's going to be able to scan through a lot of different parameters, search for GDPR information, more advanced medical information, and help users redact, again, more sensitive data from a document. So again, we're the only ones that have a smart redaction tool that can help a user identify a lot more these advanced formats that we're seeing now today in documents, but also the more simple redaction tool, just to search and redact and add those black boxes and hide or mask information from a document. But ways to secure a document via password or a certificate, integrations here with Azure AIP, and if we're using sensitivity labels today, we'll be able to use and apply those. And different ways to sign documents. I can use fill and sign here, just to click on his signature and add it. There we go. Very non-binding, just again adding an image of my signature to the document. I can also sign and certify, place a signature, and sign with a Windows certificate that I have loaded on my computer. There we go. And then lastly is e-sign. So with e-sign, I would be able to request somebody to fill out a document and send it back to me as well. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to close this document and reopen it. because I need to send this out and get somebody to, sign it and validate this document. So just like Dan said, if we combine or create PDF files, I just need to go to the e-sign tab, click on request signature, and there we go. I can add more documents, pages, anything I need this user to verify and sign to this e-sign envelope in this package. Really just from there, I need to choose who I want to send it to. I can have an address book that's going to show the drop down of all the different users I have. I can also just simply add myself, and also be required to fill out and sign, or maybe just CC'd and updated as this user fills it out. Things like signing sequencing. If I need this user to fill everything out before it initiates to user 2, 3, and build that sequencing, that would be available here. And options for in-person signing. So if we have somebody coming to a front desk or a kiosk, we can also enable that option there as well to have the witness that was actually there for that session. And lastly, authentication. Just depending on the different levels, we'll be able to apply different kinds of authentication to meet different compliance, different validations for everyone. But that's really it. We'll hit save and next. I can add my signature box to this document that's required, and that's all that's needed. But of course, if I need to add more text fields, text boxes, maybe a date field here onto the document, more advanced things like attachment fields can be added. Secure fields even. So if we're collecting credit card information or social security numbers, we can actually mask and have a secured field for those, again, more advanced formattings. Formula and calculation, and also automatic accept and decline buttons. But that's really it. We'll send it out for signature. We'll be able to also select the email template we would like to use as the last step. And that's it. I'll be able to track this e-sign document. Of course, we're waiting for our user to sign it, but also from here, I'll be able to take a look at all of the document statuses. So anything I've sent for e-sign, I can also view it from here. I can reshare it if I needed to select any of these and also send a reminder to that user. I'll be able to do it all from the actual editor itself as well. So all of that will be found under the e-sign tab up at the top, where you can even send in bulk. So if I had one document I need to send to 20 users, not a problem. Or maybe I want to create an online form or just a simple link I can send to somebody. They'll be able to fill out that e-sign document and complete it as well. But a lot of share options. Integrations here, of course, with your email that you have, integrations with Evernote and OneNote as well. But really wanted to highlight, this is where we have the comment collaboration sessions. If you would like to share documents for collaboration, you can also do that via a network share here, or maybe send it via email. It's simply invite a user to add comments to your document, and all the sessions you've sent out, you can actually track them here, see everything you've sent or all the sessions you've joined, and be able to view those documents and see who's been invited and who's added comments to them. So comment collaboration can be found here from the Share tab. And accessibility, again, this only comes in Acrobat Pro, but with Foxit, every user is going to get the power to make documents more accessible. They can auto tag documents and form fields, perform full checks, or generate accessibility reports based on the file. Or my favorite, the setup wizard or the assistant, where it's going to simply walk you through it and help you make that document more accessible. But there's also a lot of built-in help into the software as well. The AI Support Center, you can actually ask it a live question and it'll give you an answer immediately. Or the user manual. If you would rather read through a manual, go through all the bookmarks we have, or just search through it, that is available as well. And honestly, it's a great resource that I still use all the time. But if you're more of a visual learner, you can actually, when you first open up the software, you can go straight down to video tutorials. These are links to our YouTube page, just a minute or two long video on how do I edit, organize, or annotate and add comments using Foxit Editor, if you just need that quick refresher. So again, there's a lot of different things I can cover. There's a lot of different, of course, examples and workflows. If there's something specific somebody would like to see today, I'd be happy to show that as well. But any questions or any comments in the chat that I can help with?
Yeah, Kai, I don't know if you want to ask this question in the Q&A, but it is a great question. Larry asked, if I print a page off the internet that has hot links to your PDF, will the hot links work in the PDF?
So are you saying you have links to separate websites? Are we having links to, I guess, are these hosted PDF files that you have, Larry? But if you do have a link within a PDF, if you print that out, of course the URL should stay in connected on that page. And yeah, if you have a hosted file or anything you're trying to link to, that would definitely work.
Awesome. I see a question in the chat from Josh. He says, does it work the same way on a mobile device? And how does the scan work on the mobile device?
Yeah, the mobile device will be able to open up PDFs. It has all the tools and tabs, as you would see here. And I'm sorry, what was the second part to that question, Aretha?
How does the scan work on a mobile device?
The scanner. Okay, thank you. So we do have OCR on the mobile device. So just as you would use it here. So if you're taking a picture on your phone, let's say of a document, you would then import it into Foxit and use the OCR tool to then add that searchable or editable text to the document. And then you would be able to work with it on the phone as a digital file. So yeah, you'd be able to use that same process. And we, of course, again, have a scanner or OCR tool on the mobile.
Awesome. Scott asked, what are the e-sign, where, excuse me, are the e-sign documents stored? Are they at a Foxit cloud server?
Great question. We partner with AWS, so we're actually giving S3 storage for all of these e-signed documents, and of course that goes in in compliance with our SOC 2 and everything that we have within e-sign and how it's hosting and managing that e-sign data. So yeah, we're partnered with AWS to help bridge the security and compliance there.
Awesome. Fred said, what are the options for deploying PDF editor remotely? Are the guidelines posted in your KB?
Yes, yeah, we have plenty of knowledge base articles that go over deploying Foxit. The Foxit Windows is just an MSI installer. So any RMM tool, any kind of deployment tool you have, you just be able to deploy it out to your users. But yeah, things like for Mac, we have a PKG file, so all the standard installers that you would be used to today. And within the admin console or the license management portal that we offer, you can download the installers straight from there as well.
Awesome. Raj says, can we create PDF fillable forms with Foxit?
Yeah, no worries. On the form tab, exactly. You'd be able to run the form field recognition, be able to customize and create those forms here as well, and even add things like tooltips and JavaScript. So yeah, no missing gaps here for PDF form creation.
Awesome. I'll wait another minute. If you have a question, you want to put it in the Q&A or feel free to put it in the chat.
Some great questions today. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, great questions, everybody. So don't be shy. Keep asking. Ian is here. He is the wizard at all of this stuff. I did notice a few pricing questions, so I just wanted to review that real quick. So when you buy the coupon code from TechSoup, it gives you access to the software for just under $50, $49.99. That is the cost per user. So if you buy 3, then it's 3 times $49.99. And the online store, the Foxit online store, allows for purchase of up to 30 licenses at a time. So 30 is your max when you place your order. But if a week later you say, I need 3 more, you can totally go back into that existing subscription and add licenses up to 30 more. If another 3 weeks later you need some more, great. You can add up to 30 more. So there's no limit in the total number of users you can have altogether, but it is a limit of 30 at a time via the online store. And looks like we're getting more questions, and those are more focused on Ian. Ian, are you seeing those questions? Do you want to take them, or?
Hey, I have to open up the chat in order to see them, but if you can guide me through there, Kai, that'd be appreciative.
All right, the next one I see, does the Foxit AI Assistant come with the TechSoup subscription? I guess I can answer that one. The answer is yes and no. It does come with it. It is enabled by default. You get 20 prompts a month that in perpetuity. If you need more than 20 prompts a month, then you can go back to the Foxit website and purchase the AI assistant, which will then take it to 2,000 prompts a month. Let's see, was there another question? The prompts are per user.
Yes, Scott is asking how to manage users. I can open up the admin console and give you all a quick look at that.
Sounds good.
Okay, let me get signed in here. So with the admin console, exactly, you would just log into our cloud-based admin console. Be able to manage users a couple of different ways. So we could, of course, invite users using an email password invitation. Very easy to manage that way. But of course, if we're using an Active Directory, we want to be able to sync with your Entra ID, Google Workspace, Okta, whatever we're using for user management today. And of course, even be able to automate licensing through things like security groups. From there, we could upgrade users to admins if we would like to have users in here helping out. I'll be able to view licenses just through the simple license management portal here. It's going to give you numbers as to how they're activating in devices, things like the e-sign envelopes that have been used under that account, but also product customization is one thing we do offer. And again, another differentiator is we can actually come in here and configure products to allow for things like an offline license, automatically deactivate users that aren't using the software. But also, again, because we're issuing one license to a user, we can also come in here and on the fly control exactly that entire platform. Do we want to block users from eSign or using the Mac product? Maybe just block specific users from AI. So you're going to have that flexibility. But also, lastly, under features, we will select the Windows platform where now I can remove AI, eSign, and the AI Smart Redact function, or even turn off the Foxit Cloud. And there we go. Every user that receives a license from this console won't even have access to these tools, but it will also remove them from their ribbon. They can't click it, wonder why they can't access it, and then put in a support ticket. So easy customization on the fly to actually remove items, customize who has access to what portions, but also be able to set up things like SSO SAML and automate users with things like security groups. Any other questions on the editor that I may have missed? And actually, it's allowing me to open up the chat now. There we go.
Awesome. I do want to remind everybody this recording will be emailed to everybody. So you'll be able to gain some more insights by seeing it over and over, and it'll be on TechSoup's YouTube channel. Ian and Kai, any other things you would like to discuss?
Just one last thing, since the question came up about where we're hosted. Ian mentioned we're SOC 2 certified. We're also HIPAA compliant. So for one that's maybe in the healthcare space, that will come up. Working with one of the TechSoup customers right now to get the BAA agreement signed for the HIPAA compliance. So from that perspective, if there are other questions about compliance certification, where are we hosted, is it secure, and so on, don't be shy. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put my email address in the chat here for a second as well. So always feel free to reach out. We're here to help. All right. Any last questions?
You froze, Kai, so I'm not sure if, yeah, you definitely froze. So it looks like there's, okay, there we go.
I froze. Oh
Yes.
no. I'll turn my camera off just in case there's an internet bandwidth issue, but I was just saying feel free to reach out anytime if you have any questions. I put my email address in the chat.
Awesome. Look, if there's no further questions, I want to thank you all for being here, Ian and Kai. I learned so much more seeing this demo today. And Dan, thank you so much for sharing your testimony. Of course, thank you to my teammates, Haley and Kevin, in the background. You all will get this recording probably later today or early in the morning. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Dan.